Hello everyone, welcome to the another video on Power Automate Desktop. This is Dinuji Loganathan. Today I come up with some interesting updates from Power Automate Desktop. So last week, we got the 2.62 version, and we got some interesting update that is a scope variable. Yes, you heard it right. I'm not talking about the UI path. I'm talking about Power Automate Desktop. We have the interesting feature called scoping variables. Yes, finally we have these features in Power Automate Desktop as well. Okay, so what is scope variables in Power Automate Desktop? What it means? Okay, so first we will talk about that, then we will see some demo around that. Okay, put it in the slide mode. Okay, so scope variable, it's a clear, safer, more organized desktop flow. So what it means? I mean, whenever we create any enterprise grade automations, we have a lot of subflows, right? I mean, whenever you create any counters in any main flow or subflows, the same counter variable name you can't keep it in the another subflows, because if you change that, it will override the, because all the variables in Power Automate Desktop uh, till 2.61 version, you created all our global variables. There is no concept such as like local variable, so it created a lot of mess, right? So we can see here the scope variable in Power Automate Desktop let you control where variable can be used, right? So if you can make a variable local, that means you can create a local variable in subflows. It work only inside that particular subflows, keeping it separate from the rest of the automations. Okay, for example, while you create a subflow, we get the options. You want to keep your variables global or local. Okay, if you select it local, it only works inside your subflow alone. It will not, it will not be accessible from your main flows. Okay, that is the meaning of that. This prevents a variable name conflicts and make each subflows are modular, secure, easier to maintain. Okay, so probably we will see some demo, then you maybe get that idea what it is exactly. Okay, so before the scoped variable, all subflows share the same global variable pool. So already we told that, and one variable name accidentally reused break the logic in other subflows, because everything whatever you created in the Power Automate Desktop, currently it's global variables. Okay, accidentally if you try to change any name, it will break the other, break the logics in other subflows. So it is very difficult to debug, right? So in the new solution scoped variable, each local subflow has its own variable scope. Okay, if you opt for the local scope, yes, we have all the variables will be saved in local only, and the variables are isolated, no accidental overrides, which we faced on the global variable concepts, right? So data is exchanged only through the input and output variables. So we will see that in few seconds. Okay, so what I will do, I will switch back to my Power Automate Desktop. I will show the new feature. Okay, I will create this as a scoped variable. Scoped variable. If you want to explore this scoped variable, we have to create some flows, right? So what we are going to do now, I want to read my Excel file, the name of employee Excel file, okay, which contains employee ID, name, department, salary. I want to do the math for maybe I will give high kind of 10% for the each employee. Then I want to include one more column, that is a new salary here. I want to list out the new salary here. Okay, so I will break down this overall automations in three subflows. Okay, the first subflow is just read the Excel file. Okay, and it will return the data table, okay, to the main flows. So that is the first subflow. That subflow name is called, maybe you can keep employee process, right? Employee data process, something like that, you can keep it. Okay, and a second subflow, where we can pass our data table, then we can do the math operations, right? We talked about the hike as well. So we will do the math from salary. We will increase the 10% of salary, and we can keep this a new salary in the last column. Okay, then with the new data we will try to write in some Excel file, that we will keep it as a separate summary report kind of subflows. Okay, total we have three subflows right now. First subflows is just read the employee data, and it will return the data table. In the second data table, subflows, we will process the employee records, we will do the math, and it will return the data table again. In the third subflows, we will passing the data table, then it will write the data into some Excel file. So this is the overall flow look like. Let's get into that. Okay, so I will bring my screen here. Okay, so here you can see now we have global, local. Okay, global variables will appear here. Input output variables are user defined, while flow variables are automatically created when specific actions are added to the flows. Okay, that is fine. What we will do now, I will create a new subflow called read employee data. Okay, read employee data. So you can see here we getting the scope with global and local. Okay, so what it means, you can see the tip here. All variables within local subflow will be local to the subflow. Okay, and it is inaccessible from the other subflows. If you created your flow with local scope, whatever the flow what are the variables you are created inside the read employee data subflow will be sit within the same subflow. It will not be accessible from any other subflows. That is the meaning for that. Okay, you can see here the scope of the subflow cannot be changed after its creation. Okay, so once you created your subflow with local scope, you cannot, make it or convert into the global again. Okay, that is the meaning for the overall, they mentioned the tip. Okay, let's keep local here. Now for read employee data, I'm going to create a two input variables. Okay, sorry, one input variable. So that is excel file path. Okay, then in output I want to return the data table, right? So that is employee list. See here, there is nothing in the global because our main flow is empty. Okay, and if you look at, see, I'm in the main flow now. I cannot move into the local here. Okay, whatever you create in the main flow, it's a global mostly. Okay, uh, and if you switch to the subflow, you can see here there is nothing on the global. Okay, whatever I created, it will come in the local only. Okay, so what I will do here, I will first launch my Excel, launch Excel. So we will get that from the input variable, right? So I will use that path here, input Excel file path. Okay, then what we will do, we will read the Excel data. I will read entire data. That's fine. First range of column contains column name. That also fine. Here we will get the Excel data, right? So I will reassign that to my output variable. Okay, let's use set variable here. So our in output employee list, I will just reassign the Excel data here. Okay, so in this overall subflow, we are getting the Excel file path from the main flow and we are reading it. And once we get the data table, we are just returning back to the main flow. Okay, so you can look at here, all the variables which we created in the subflows are all local variables. So we have one input variable that's a local and one more variable in the output that also local, two subflows variable that also local. Okay, so now I will call my subflow from the main flow. Okay, the moment I use my read employee data subflow, you can see it will automatically show my input variables which will be required for my subflow execution, right? So here what we will do, I will take my Excel file path. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so it will return the employee list as a output. That is what it will automatically created this variable here. Okay, employee list. Okay, this is fine. Once we get that data table, what we will do, we will pass to the another subflow called process employee data. Okay, I will keep this a local again. Now we want to do the math operation. I want to give the hike for all the employees 10 percentage, right? So what I will do, first I would require the input as a employee list. Okay, let's make one input variable here. This is employee list. Once the math operation is done, I will pass the data table again, but I will keep that name as a processed list. Okay, fine. Okay, so now first we will check. I will maybe use set variable here, emp count. Okay, I will try to get the number of rows here. Okay, if you directly get from the use the direct input employee list, you won't see the row counts and all. So what I will do, I will keep this as a employee dt data table. In the second line, okay, still it is not recognized what data type it is, right? So I'm not able to get the row counts of the employee list data table, right? So what I'm going to do, I will remove this. First I will execute the flow first. Okay, I will execute the flow now, so that it will, okay, we are not passing this employee list. Now let's see whether it is able to recognize the variable type. Okay, okay, guys, see this. Initially I created the input variable, okay, but I have not passed any I have not configured my subflow in the main flow, and I'm not passed my data table here, so it is not recognized what data type it is. Okay, the moment when I configured my subflow with employee list variable, it is automatically recognized it. Okay, so this is also good learning for us. Okay, so emp row count, we will use the row count here. First we will check it is a greater than 0, then we will do the math. Okay, so first I'm just checking the row count here. You can also directly do that, that's not an issue. I'm using emp row count, it's greater than 0. Okay, then I'm using for each here. Now we will iterate our employee table. Then we want to give the hike for each and every employee, right? So here first I will create variable for emp salary, current item, we will get salary here. So this is our column name. I mentioned the column name here. Now we want to calculate the hike. Okay, so I'm copy pasting the same action and changing emp new salary. Then let's take the salary here, emp salary. Then let's do the math. Okay, emp salary plus again emp salary into 10 percentage hike. Maybe let's keep 8 percentage hike divided by 100. Okay, so this is the new salary here, employee salary plus employee salary, and we are giving the 8 percentage of hike from the employee salary. then it will calculate the new salary. Let's verify that. Okay, this is fine. Now let's return some. We will assign the value for the return output variable also, right? For now, let's keep the employee dt. Okay, now we are good to run our flow. Okay, I will just save this. You can see here whatever I'm creating the subflows, all local based variables. Okay, it is not something accessible in the main flows. Okay, so that is where that scope variable will be useful to try to segregate the global and local variables. So whatever you are using in the main flows, just keep them as a global, and if you are using the same variable across the different subflows, you can keep them in the global. But sometimes we don't need to share our subflows variable with the main flows or maybe the other subflows. So those times you can keep it the local. Okay, let's run now. We will see whether it is do the proper math or not. Okay, it is running, launching. Okay, we got the salary is 50,000, and we are doing the math for new salary. New salary is 54,000 with the 8% of hike. Okay, it looks good. Okay, we will add them back in the employee dt table. So what we will do, we will insert some new column here, expand the variable, expand the data table. Here, insert column into data table. Okay, let's get employee data table, and this is the new salary. Okay, once it is calculated, we will add that in the data table. Okay, so insert row into the data table. Insert nahi update data table. Okay, update data table item. So this is dt, and the column is new salary, right? New salary, and the row we don't know. Let's keep blank for now. And the new salary is, this is the one. Okay, so now let's time to create the counter, right? I will create a counter here. This is row counter, so it will start from 0. Okay, we will keep that row counter here. Then we will do the increment. Okay, we will do the increment next to the update item. Row counter. Okay, fine, I guess. Let's save this now, and we will run the flow and see whether it is doing the proper math for the employee new salary, and it will return to the main flows or not. Okay, so I will add the breakpoint here. I will run the flow. Okay, launching. New salary does not exist. Interesting. Employee dt. New salary is there, but without space. Okay, let's make required changes. We will save the flow and run again. Okay, so I think now it got inserted in the employee dt. Let's verify that. See here, 54. Let's allow the bar to complete the all the items. Another issue I observed in the 2.62 is previously in the normal I mean 2. Till 2.61 we are able to see this, right? I mean, even after the iteration it will show the proper count, 5 rows or 5 columns or something like that, whatever the data we have here. But here it is showing 0 0. But if you open this, you can able to see the data. Okay, I think there is some bug in the solution. Probably Microsoft will fix that. But apart from that, it will be very useful, right? You can see here, I created the main flow, so which contains only the output variables which these two subflows are generated, right? So that comes on the uh, global level, right? And the read imply data, I'm having some input output, that is fine. Apart from that, what are the subflow related variables? It is a local only. It will not be accessible in the main global level. Okay. And also here another process imply data, what are the flows I have created, it's again maintaining in the local level only. It will not be accessible in even another subflows or even the main flows, right? Definitely it will be helpful for the developers when they are creating the larger flows, right? And also you can see here uh, the count, the row counter, right? Previously whenever we create a counter, we always worrying whether we can touch this, whether this is reusable counter, or they have keep it any they are using in other flows. So those challenges every time developer have that, right? So now with the new scoped variables, each subflow will not share the same variable space, right? So with the new scoped variable, we can design automation just like a modular program. Each subflows acts like a function with its own local variables and a clear input and output boundaries. So if you are building complex data flow, start using the scoped variable and local subflows today, and they will make your automation modular, maintainable, and truly professional. I hope this video is helpful for who are trying to explore what is the scoped variable in Power Automate. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Next video we will covering the new another interesting topic. Thank you so much for watching.